Which is 1-0 to AFC Wimbledon on the night. Is that scoreline a bit harsh on us?
Yeah, I do think it is. And I thought the performance was much improved from Boxing Day. I like the intensity and the organisation and the effort that we played with, much better in that sense. I thought the first half of the game we started brilliantly, started the game really well, a couple of good chances early on. Should have a penalty, we'll come on to that. And then they get control of the game and get us deep, and we aren't able to get the two Clarks high up the pitch and bring any control in the chaos moments, so we end up a bit isolated. And then we know there's 1v1s for Nev if we regain the ball, but we try and find that too early rather than find the extra pass that's in the game when it's chaotic. But we defended our box brilliantly. Cats had to make one good save, but I thought our robustness in and around the box was very good, and the effort and energy from the midfield players was very good as well. So we needed to try and get some control of the game. Then we come out in the second half, we make a mistake in the build up to the corner that the goal comes from. At first viewing, we get dragged out of zones a little bit, we don't manage to follow the man, but then you see the replays and the players' reactions, and clearly that's handball, so that's frustrating. And then our response to going behind was magnificent, and we played the second half with a real intent to be the dominant team. Didn't create too many clear-cut moments, made some poor decisions in certain situations where there was a great chance for us to get the goal, and it's why we don't score as many as we should, because forwards are greedy, and we know that, and that's why they score goals. But when there's another pass in the move, they have to see it, they have to find it, because that can be another turning point. And we chased, and we looked more likely to be the team that scored the next goal in the game throughout it, whether that was open play, set plays. Overall emotion, really angry that we've lost the game, really angry the way in which we've lost the game, but hopeful that as a minimum level that gives you a chance of winning games in a league that's going to be open till Easter. We're going to need to turn in some wins quickly and get to scoring goals quickly, because if we don't, then it can drift away fast as well. But at the same time, I would boo my team off the pitch on Boxing Day, but I wouldn't boo them off the pitch today, because I really liked what they gave us.
And did you get the response that you asked for in the main?
In the main, yes. We know where we're lacking in the game. We know what we want more of. But I'll always stick up for them when they give everything and they fight and they have a right go and they chase and they show some personality and some intensity in their performance, which they did, and responded in the right way. But not the response because we needed to try and get a result off the back of the last one, because you don't want to go back-to-back defeats, obviously. And in a period where we've been win a couple, lose a couple, win a couple, we've just got to hang on to the coattails while we're improving of all those teams, and it's not too difficult to do it, because they've gone second tonight and they're closer to 18th than they are first. The promotion race has got about 18 teams in it, we'll have till probably the end of February, early March, so we need to be in amongst that as we try and improve and get better. And I'm disappointed because we've had brilliant numbers come and support us the last two away games at a time of year that is expensive, and the support's been brilliant, so you obviously want to give them more goals, more entertainment, more opportunities. You hope that in the second half we're going their way towards them to try and chase that, because there was nothing in front of them in the second half after the first couple of minutes. But look, it is what it is. We have to dust ourselves down really quickly because the next game comes very, very fast.
Mark, appreciate your time. Thank you. Ben.
Mark, you mentioned a penalty that you thought should have been given for your side in the first half. Can you expand upon that?
Yeah, everyone can see it. I mean, it's clearer than ever today because it's on the telly and they zoom in on it, and no doubt they're the action points that they're talking about. We felt they were really aggressive on us in our box, which is fine. If there's VAR, it gets given, and their goal doesn't. You know, that is the fine line of the game a little bit. But there's no attempt to see the ball. It's just a bit of a headlock, DDT'd him to the floor, and no return for us whatsoever. So yeah, we felt that there was a couple of moments like that in the first half, but that certainly was one, and that was in a period where we proper had them on the ropes in the first sort of 5-6 minutes with a brilliant start, and then it twisted and turned and it went to them. So you need those moments to go for you, or you need one of your chances to go in for you when we had that pressure for an early goal. And we had one that, if I remember, just went past the post, I think, which was a decent chance as well. So yeah, we need to capitalise on those moments more and find more quality in execution in those situations, because we're drawing blanks too many times.
And you mentioned the goal, and it looks like, as you say, the replays has come off his elbow. You can see it clearly from replays, but referee linesman in real time, do you expect them to maybe see that?
I do when it's on the linesman's side, yeah. And it's not easy in full speed, but in the end, there was a bit of space that he ends up in, and it's a fairly clear line through from the linesman's side to see that. So I would expect him to see that. Just like I would expect, I don't know, us to defend it better or not give it away in the first time. Like, we should expect that from our players, but we should expect that from them as well. And look, in the end, it feels like that's the reason we've lost the game. There's loads of reasons why we've lost the game, and we have to take absolute ownership and responsibility ourselves for that, but those moments don't help.
And you mentioned strikers wanting to take on chances themselves. Presumably you're referring to Elliot Nevitt and that chance where they've given away possession and he could have squared it to Dak or Rowe, but has shot wide himself.
Yeah, a really good situation where we've pounced on an error which was perfect really in that sense in terms of the pressure, and he's got himself in a 1v1, and I think his instant reaction, like it should be for a forward, is I'm bearing down on goal. But as time travels on and the picture changes and the goalkeeper's there and there's someone on his inside shoulder in a better position, Daki, Aaron Rowe, a simple pass gives them a simple finish, and at that point we had really good momentum in the game. I thought that all the setbacks in the game we responded well to. That hasn't always been the case, and that's where we are at the moment. We have to be a resilient team that dig in and grit and find their way through the games, because not only have we got to make sure we pick up points more often and score more goals more often, but our wins at the moment when we're in this situation are gritty wins, and that's what it has to be, and we have to accept that until we can get to a point where we are a bit more forward-flowing and confident, and we can get the type of wins everybody wants. But yeah, like that game tonight is such a close game, could have gone either way. They go second, we sit 13th. Really balanced game between two teams. I think it sums the league up, and it can change in a moment, and the moment might be a mistake or an error or a poor decision. That's where it is at the minute, and a few of those are going the wrong side of it. They'll turn our favour when we play with an intensity and a determination and togetherness like that. They won't turn in our favour when we play like we played on Boxing Day.
Just thinking of some positives, obviously Bradley Dack getting through 78 minutes on his first start. Aaron Rowe looked right off the bench as well.
Yeah, he did. I thought the boys off the bench had a good impact in the game, which was important. Daki and Armani went bigger in the game than they should, and that will be tough for them to go again. Nev's done a lot of games on the bounce, Robbie's done a lot of games on the bounce, and with all these games coming really fast, there's no way we'll see those players in both the next two games, so we'll just have to see how that goes. There's been a fair bit of illness around and things like that, so we just need to see where we are in the next couple of days, and find a team that can fight and have a real go against Bromley on the 2nd of Jan, because it's a game where we need to respond and keep trying to find a way of winning.
Like you say, that Bromley game coming up, you start the new year in the bottom half of the table. You've said all season long you're a long way from the team where you want to be, and I guess you're just, a few points away from where you want to be, but still, trying to breach the top 7 as we go into the new year.
Yeah, I think we're probably only a few points away from the playoff positions, which is where we'd like to be, but we're probably quite a few points away from where we'd really like to be after the start that we've made. The league position at the moment doesn't look nice, and it's definitely not where we want to be, but it can change very quickly, but only if we do it. It's a very, very tight league. We need to stick at it, keep grinding things out, because it will turn for us, because we've got good players, and we'll keep adding and we'll keep getting better. And if we keep doing that and keep a belief and a togetherness inside the team and inside the group, then we can turn some results in that will get us closer to where we want to be. But it's a long, long season, and they asked me before the game if we're in the promotion race as well as Wimbledon, and I just think everybody is. I think it will be that way for ages, and it will only stop being that way if we start thinking it isn't. So yeah, we've got to get some better results quickly, but there's enough in that performance tonight that I can say we will get some if we play more like that more often.
Yeah, hard luck tonight.
Thank you.
There'd be no better time to get that win on the board straight away. 2025 home to Bromley.
Yeah, it comes around really quick, doesn't it? So no time to feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to try and get ourselves going really, really quickly. Obviously our games are a little bit scattered compared to others over the next few days, but we need to prepare ourselves as quickly as we can. I watched the Bromley game yesterday on me sick bed. I haven't been in for the last couple of days, so the boys were the boys looked after things brilliantly the last few days, the staff, and the players delivered what we asked tonight the best they could, and it weren't quite enough for us. But having said that, we got go again really quickly, and players that have maybe not played tonight or not been involved tonight, they can come back into it very fast because of the nature of the turnaround.
Last two defeats, but you'll be happier after tonight, if you can say the word happy, than you were at Colchester.
Yeah, it seems so rotten, doesn't it? Even saying that, it really does, because you can't be happy with that. You can't be happy losing the game. You can't be happy going back to back and having your Christmas period look like that. But I think when you play the last few games before the Colchester game, we were onto something, and it got us results. And that was more like the level that got us results against Cheltenham, against MK Dons, and so on. And so what we have to do is find that regularly, because that's more like a team that gives you a chance of doing it. If you can't run hard, and you can't compete, and you can't be intense, and you're not fighting for a second ball, and you're not fighting to protect the game, yeah, mistakes are going to happen. Yeah, people make bad decisions and whatever else. That's how it is. But if they make those mistakes for the right reasons, fine. If it's a lack of effort and a lack of intensity, we've got no time for you, and nobody else should as well. So find that level. That gives us a chance of getting results. If we get onto a result and can start stacking a couple together again, like we did at the start and like we did 2 weeks ago, we can change the picture of it quite quickly. But we have to do that.
Yeah, a big night for Sam Gale tonight.
Yeah, a good story, and amongst all of that, he's had a good loan. He's come back, and he's trained well. So I think in a game where we needed players that would show all those qualities, that is what he is, and that's what he's got. So we gave him a chance to do it, and he did absolutely fine.
You mentioned there's some illness around. There's no Hutton or Andrews. Is that illness or selection?
Well, a little bit of everything. There's some illness, there's some selection, there's some Josh Andrews just needs training time, really. I think if we're hardly training and he's playing 10 minutes here and there, I think we'll need more of him than that in the next couple of games. But if he doesn't train this week going into it, it doesn't help him. So he's worked his socks off today and trained really hard, along with the others that missed out, and the turnaround can come quite quickly for all of them, I'm sure.
And Lapo's gone. First of a few maybe that could depart to free up a bit of space?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we want to change things if we can. We want to try and make some additions to the squad, but we do need to free some room up in the squad, if you like, to do that. So the opportunities will come, I'm sure, when interest in our players comes as the window opens. This one happened quite early. Obviously, it's happened really quickly as well. Lapo's been brilliant for me since I've come in. His situation in the summer was what it was. He's played an important part in a couple of games as well, and been a really good pro. So love him as a character, but he's got himself like a decent contract up there for 2.5 years. So it's really good security for him from where he was in a position with only a few months left on his contract. And it allows us to maybe start early in the month doing a little bit of work and changing and adding and changing the dynamic of the squad a little bit, which we'll try to do best we can.
Is there anything imminent for incomings?
I wouldn't say imminent, but there's certainly a few things being lined up, and nothing secured yet at all. We'd love to be able to do a couple of things early if we could. But the order in which you can sign players, the timing of when you can sign them, is a crazy month, and it might be a little bit up and down throughout the month. But we'll see how it plays out. I have an idea of how I'd like it to get to, but at the same time, a little bit is going to be led by what interest there is in ours as well.
Can you say what you'd like to achieve during that January transfer window?
Yeah, I'd like to try and be better at the end of it if we can. That's probably the main thing, and to make sure that we've got lots of players capable of doing what I want them to, lots of players who are willing to do what I want them to, and to come out with a team that is, as an absolute minimum, athletic, can run hard, can run fast, can compete, can physically go the distance in the game, and have a real willingness to do that. And then on top of that come the technical qualities that we need to be a better football team, and to be a more creative football team, and to score more goals, and so on. But I think over the next few weeks, what we've got to make sure is, in the next 3 games that we've got left before we get to that 25 game point, is I just want to be in the race. And I want to get to the end of January when things have settled and we know where the squad is, with 18 games to go going into February, with a chance of chasing it with everybody else.
Big month in January.
Massive month, yeah, huge month for us. So we'll see who wants to come with us, who's on the journey with us, and who fancies the fight and fancies grinding it, and who can handle the criticism that we're going to get, which is fine, and stick together and stick up for each other and deliver performances that give us a chance.